And we're live. That's right. Time for another Garden 30. I think I figured out how to get this oriented the way I want it to be. Welcome, everybody. This is just me. Oh, nope. Does not like it. Wants me to be like that, not that. Why don't you want me to be this way? Is there like a button I can push? No. Whatever. Anyway, this weekend did not go as planned. It did not go as planned at all. But at least I got these 7 jars of pickled beets done in the outdoor canning kitchen. And I got 7 more I'm going to do. Those are Aunt Helen's variety. And the next one I'm going to do is going to be Nicole's variety. Aunt Helen's has lots of sugar in it. Nicole Sauce's has no sugar. I like both varieties, but it's just kind of fun to make. If anybody's jumping onto the live stream, just let folks know that we are live. I said I might go live this weekend. I didn't promise anything. And this is like, ooh, look at this little spider. Wait. Hello, little guy. He's like, I don't want to be near you. Anyway, I have a lot of this and that to do today. So this right here is rabbit poop. Howdy, Empty Knives. Just got back from a run in the heat, huh? It is like 10 degrees cooler here, and I have a totally different lease on life as a result. And I've been putting off this chore. I even tarped it because it was going to rain. I got rabbit poop to spread out. Super glamorous life I live. I use this wonderful tool for that. That's our cardboard collection. Probably need to get it moved off of the... This is the tool of the trade right here. One glove. Makes it easier to spread the rabbit poop. And basically what I'm doing here, 90 there. Wow, that's hot. We did get to 90 today. Any plant that looks peaked, like this squash right here is kind of yellow. I just take a little fistful, put it down at the base. See, there's some perilla here. Pull some of those out. Most of my Garden 30 effort yesterday was related to unexpected guests. I didn't really get Garden 30 in yesterday. I did some maintenance outside, but that was about it. Look, the cucumbers are blooming. Super exciting. Except for those are all male flowers. Come on! I want cucumbers. Sheesh. That's a lot of cardboard. Yes, it is. We use cardboard for weed blocks. That's why there's not very many weeds here. But I'm just going to drag my bucket of poo. I actually want to go to the very far corner of the garden. See, there's a elderberry coming up. And kind of work down this row. I'm just going to take a fistful of poop on spec because I already know there's some problems down here. This tomato looks okay, but I feel like could use a little more. Warm rabbit poop in my hand. I'm trying to think. There was something that happened today that kind of struck me as weird. I read the news. There wasn't much going on that hasn't already been going on. See, this plant looks terrible. Rabbit poop to the rescue. Anything you guys want to talk about today? But I kind of started out, watered what needed water. Yep, I watered what needed water today too. I did a rotation because it didn't rain here. It just looked like it was gonna rain. And then I ended up here in the garden. I watered the garlic and I watered this whole area 2 days ago. And then I ended up watering my hillside garden of all things because it's looking pretty dry up there. So did that this afternoon. Put some wood chips over that. Get it in there where it can ooze into the ground. Really give some nutrition to these guys. You know, it feels really good just squishing this poop between my hands. Just kidding. As I said, glamorous gardening. But rabbit poop's actually kind of like a miracle, and I love it from a fertility standpoint. Put it straight on the ground. And these things love it. Okay, I can't see the comments. And I can't touch my phone with my right hand. So hold on, I'm putting the phone down. Putting my glasses down. Carefully picking up the phone. Hitting the comment button. Ha! Tori's been watching horror movies. Oh, Tori, I can't do that. I used to love horror movies. And then I lived by myself and I discovered that I think about horror movies at night instead of sleeping when I watch horror movies. So I stopped. But I used to do all sorts of fun stuff with horror movies as a teenager. I am a big old baby about it now. I used to make fun of people who treated horror movies like, oh, hey, cool. This plant right here looks pretty good. This whole row is a little peaked. Too hot for the kids. Ashley's napping. That's awesome. I went today to the pool to go swimming, like I do. And like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago we were there, or a week ago, and it was really cold in the pool. So I said, hey Mom, find out why it's cold. So she asked. Turns out heater's broken. So today, before checking in, I was like, hey, did you get that heater fixed? And they said no. I was like, oh, I'm not going swimming then. I was like, when's it going to be fixed? September. They have to make the part by hand that broke on the heater. Apparently a new heater is not easy to come by. Putting ducks away. Okay, see? One row of poop. Next row does not get poop because it's potatoes and they're about to be harvested. Now we go down this row for poop. It's just kind of a shitty day today, really. Anyway, I went to the farmer's market, and the thing that happens at the farmer's market happened, where I was picking up beets. Can't wait to get rabbits. I've put it off because of Karen butchering. Yeah, rabbits are awesome. I'm hoping that this incoming call is not messing with my audio. I'm technically in do not disturb mode, but Mama Sauce is calling me right now. Mama Sauce, I'm not answering because I'm on a live feed. She probably doesn't know I'm on a live feed though. But butchering can be a challenge, especially when the critters are cute. I actually have not had to butcher a rabbit yet. We do have our poultry processing class coming up here soon. More poop. See, this whole part of my garden is just kind of begging for attention. But butchering is a hard thing to commit to. What you can do, though, go to somebody else's farm and butcher rabbits there to learn if you can. I think Emily Morse does them here. Totally shitty day. Yep. Hopefully this shit does me some good. I'll tell you what, the addition of the glove makes my outlook on poop a lot better than had I no glove. So thank you, modern society, for the invention of plastic. Okay. Pretty much got everything except for that pepper. That pepper looks like crap. You need poop too. There you go. This doesn't do me any good till it rains again, or I water it, by the way. Okay. Next row. We're going to get one and I'm going to do one. Yep, that's what Nick Ferguson says to do. Go to somebody's place. Have them show you how to process a rabbit. Take the rabbit home, cook the rabbit. Once the rabbit is cooked, eats the rabbit. If you make it through that and you still like rabbit and want rabbit, probably you should get rabbits. So, what I'm seeing here is Bodock, and that I need to cut my cover crops back some more. That's just a random spot of garlic that nobody has the heart to get rid of because it just planted itself there in the middle of my pathway. Anyway, I do like being accountable. I don't know. I was kind of scrolling through the news, and it's a lot of the same old shit. It's just more fear. And I've gotten to where I can always do like John Willis and feed the dogs if you don't like the taste. Yep. I like rabbit though. It's good. I served it at my workshop. They're just dialing up the fear all the time. And the sad thing is, I see it work on people all the time. Like people in our network are afraid. And those are the ones I'm hoping will eventually just turn off the news. Take my advice and turn off the news for a while. Because that fear is getting you nowhere. Rabbit poop. This is why I've been putting this job off, because I knew I was going to have to squish it between my fingers to get it out. But it's actually not that bad. You know, the cucumbers look super healthy. The other plants do not look as healthy. The kale looks pretty good. But I did get my hillside garden watered. Was starting to pick grass up there. And I was like, you know, I just need to commit to getting the rabbit poop out, because once it's out, everything will be in much better shape. And then when I come back from my trip, I'm going to be, hello, terribly yucky nitrogen deficient plants. I'm going to be, you know, hitting all the weeds again. But my cover crop, which is all these leafy greens you see here, kind of choking the other bigger plants, they've gone to seed. It's actually time for me to cut those back. I was sort of hoping to let them go to seed and let them drop their seeds, but I at least need to make room for the next set of plants coming in. And then the beets, look at the beets. They're like, the ones that germinated, we had terrible germination. Look at that bean. It looks like a vining bean and not a bushing bean. Huh. Marjorie Wildcraft had me almost sold on it, but I was preoccupied by butchering. I'm ready now. Dog food is a good reason. You don't want to run out of dog food if you want dogs in your life. That's for sure. I thought dog food was my primary reason, and then I learned that I'm terrible at getting rabbits to reproduce with each other. So we're about to change out some genetics. Well, that's an interesting looking plant. Is that arugula? Huh, arugula. Yeah, the beets are looking big, and my bush beans look like vine beans, even though they were a bush. Like, see these? They look like they want to climb something. So, we'll see. You know what that means? Sometimes the packages lie to you. I'm gonna laugh my butt off if my bush beans are pole beans. I mean, I don't mind. I can put trellising up, but the whole purpose of this row, where the beans are, is bush beans. Started the barbecue with the family, all right. What I'm doing next after this, as part of my Garden 30, is peeling beets. I went to the farmer's market and got my 2 boxes of beets to process this weekend, thinking I'd have all weekend. And I get there and he's like, hey, Nicole, you want 3 boxes? I'm like, you know I'm going to say yes to that. He's like, yeah, it works every time. It does work every time. Such a sucker for canning things. And he always makes me a super good deal, see? So that's why that works. And so, just dropping some around these beans. So I come home with 3 boxes of beans and nothing really in particular on the agenda this weekend. And next thing I know, I'm hosting a potluck barbecue with people coming over. Had a great time, but I did not process beets. Okay, see, this is the power of the process. Love is inside out, and I never actually had to touch poop with my fingers. So I didn't start processing beets till this morning. I've gotten through 2 of my 3 boxes. I go out of town on Tuesday. I've gotten 7 jars of pickled beets. I'll have my next 7 tonight. And I'll finish that 3rd box tomorrow after work. And then I leave town on Tuesday. I'm going to go see Charles the Humble Mechanic. And we're going to do a coffee tasting. That's going to be fun. See, garbage. Yes. Despite that, do I want to wash my hands? Why, yes, I do want to wash my hands. Going to put the phone down for a minute. And then I don't get home till Friday, which means Garden 30 is not going to happen. Just as a matter of course, for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I may get one in Friday. I'm driving Friday, but I should be back early. My live stream for Friday's show will be later in the day because I have to drive home first. Hey, are you? Oh, I bet my audio just got about a bunch better. Yeah. So I've just done Garden 15 poop. The poop edition. Now, my next thing on my list was to go address a grass issue. Not the fun kind of grass either. This is just like everything day. Not watching the news is a good thing. Look at this wall of tomatoes. It's just, every time I walk by it, it makes me happy. Look, they're getting bigger. The tomatoes are getting bigger. Woo! So here's the progress from last time. We did the trellising. Chicken plucker's back. So they're already ready to loop around one more time. Isn't that cool? Once you get up like this, they start growing a lot faster. This one's good. I did that one this morning. So this is how much water we went through today. Looks like about 2 gallons today. Then this is my hillside, and I've got a lot of things going on here. So I've been encouraging, I know it looks kind of messy, but I've been encouraging the lamb's quarter, but I don't want the perilla. So I decided today was also crack weed day, where I pull weeds out of the cracks that I don't want. Ultimately, what I need to do is plant stuff in these cracks that I want, because what I don't want is that vine but this I do want. I like my lamb's quarter, and it will reseed itself. I did put a bunch of mullein seeds in here, by the way. But then, this is the hillside garden. Remember that? So this is mint. It's chocolate mint. This is perilla, the evil perilla. Perilla DeVille. Anyway, and then we've got pioneering grasses coming in. I don't want them. I'm probably going to get another layer of wood chips up here. I don't mind the clover or the plantain. I think I'm just going to leave those here. Those are welcome, and if they keep the perilla out, I'm super happy. Excuse me while I juggle things. Okay. This goes with this. That goes with that. Okay. And then I've got this lamb's quarter. I'm actually pulling it out because it's right where I have strawberries. So, it is what it is. Come on. So, you see the strawberries. They're getting all surrounded by grass. I went to the store today. I'm looking for somebody to volunteer to be on my show with me who is worried about supply chain issues and their ability to have a deep pantry. So if you're hearing this, is that mint? That is not mint. If you're hearing this and you're like, I'm worried about that, what I want to do is interview somebody, talk to them like I would talk to somebody through development of a deep pantry, by starting by talking about what they ate this week. And just meals, starting on a Sunday. That looks like a fancy plant I might want to keep. Interesting. If you went out to eat, what did you eat at the restaurant? Those sorts of things. And document that, and then extrapolate from that a shopping list to start building a pantry, because I've realized that we talk about pantry development and getting supplies, and there's a whole method that I talk about. Ooh, there goes my transmitter. And, ooh, that's a plantain. I think I'll leave that. I talk about how easy it is, and I'm like, you just do this, you document your food, you make your list, you choose something, you do copy canning. Okay, well, that's great. Except for now, there's an urgency increasing on possible supply chain issues, and we're watching diesel prices go up, and people are getting scared and bada bada, right? But also, some people are like, but I have money set aside to develop my... Tori says I don't think it's decent. Okay, Tori, you should jump on and we'll talk about your fast food, because the thing is, you can extrapolate what you would eat if you did not have access to fast food from the fast food that you eat. And when you become purposeful about your pantry, what starts happening is, I think, less fast food because you have more things at home that you will eat. So if you want to do that, hit me up. What I want to do is go from that to get an extra week's worth of food stored. This is the list. And do it in layers. So start with the pantry. Start with the food. Start with the foods that store. Get those up to date. And then talk about how we deal with perishables. Get that up to date. And then on another week, talk about other consumable supplies like cleaning supplies. And then a different week, do, first aid and medical, and just start walking through each area of developing what I call a savings account. Yeah, message me on MeWe. Email might be better though, Nicole@livingfreeintennessee.com. But each aspect of developing a savings account of supplies so that you feel more stable in a way that isn't wasting money, because you're storing up things you will ultimately use, so you don't end up, with a bunch of shit you don't use, that you never use, that you then get sick of looking at, and then in a mad dash of declutter, get rid of. And I was realizing we've talked about how to do it, but it would be kind of neat to see somebody walk through that process and what that looks like. And to get this done quickly, I think it would be kind of cool if I could get some helpers with the spreadsheet, because what we'll do is we'll write it down in a spreadsheet, because you can multiply numbers, right? In a spreadsheet really easily. You can say, I want 2 weeks of food, and it multiplies your list. And if you want 3 weeks of food, it makes a bigger amount that you need to have as goals. And I do it more manually than that, but that's just because I've been doing it for so long, it's second nature. And I thought, well, what if we just build a custom spreadsheet for somebody? Then people can see how to set their own spreadsheet up, because the problem with all of these, hey, you need to buy this list of things, lists, is that doesn't take into account the people, the actual people. And I thought, well, let's walk through it and just show how we plan that, and then see how that works and go from there. And then, people can copy that process for themselves and make their own list and start getting their own food savings accounts together, for savings accounts together. I call them savings accounts because you get, the more stuff you have that you're actually using on a regular basis stored up, it's like a big old savings account, because you don't have to buy it if it's hard to find or goes through one of the spikes in cost or any of those things. This one's particularly difficult because I don't want to take I don't want the strawberry to get pulled out. But there's this pesky grass right there. So, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of a cool conversation to have, and I can do it with a few different people, so you can see how one person's list is going to be completely different than another person's list, which is completely different than what your list should be, right? There's a problem here. There's a vine all up in my rose, and it's a prickly rose. Prickly rose. Ouch! I just cut my thumb on a rose thorn. Gardening is pain. I need to deadhead that rose. Yeah, as you can see, the grass is just like invading me. I actually watered up here so I could loosen the ground so I could get these out of here. Other than that, not a lot of crazy stuff going on. Jenny is leaving, and we're kind of deciding what to do with base camp next. I think if somebody from the community rents it and we think they're a good fit for a hauler neighbor, that'll work well. If not, I'm thinking I might Airbnb it. I think I talked about that the other day. Alternatively, I could move into it. That was another idea. And we could reserve my house more for the community gathering / event center. For me, that would be really hard though, because I'm so dang used to just walking out my front door and roasting coffee. And I'm certainly not moving the roasting shack. See that offending piece of grass right here? Go over there and be grass. Oh, snake. No, worm. Cool. I like to see worms. I disturbed a worm. Yes, we did water today. Whew. I don't know what else you guys want to talk about. It's a conversation, not a monologue, except for it's been a monologue the whole time. Look at all this grass. So I'm going to start near this thyme plant that has grass growing up in it. I've just given the thyme some room here. Spread out and be happy, man. Spread out and be happy. It's just amazing to me how fast Weedmageddon comes. Oh, look at that. That is a gladiola that got dug up by a freaking chicken. Here's what I'm noticing. I watered the crap out of this today, and it has not, just trying to be a better listener, right? It has not penetrated the soil very well, so I'm going to run the sprinkler some more. But it might be because of all these grass roots. I'm not super happy about that gladiola getting dug up either. Stupid chickens. It's probably dead. Oh, look, another thyme plant. As surrounded by all this crabgrass. Whew! Whoa! See, the problem with this whole rig is the way that falls off my face. So the fertility up here is a little better. This is a lot darker of a squash. It's getting a little light colored on the outside of the leaves. I think that means an iron deficiency. So I may do but look at this dill. It's almost up to my shoulder. It's like a monster dill plant. But I'm a little happier with the fertility up here. It's got goat poop in it. And where I just took all that grass out, you can see the dirt's kind of showing. Grass will come back immediately if I don't get more wood chips on it. So I've got to do that. Looks like you look like a sweet potato. It might be a sweet potato. I don't know who put that there. But this is definitely going to be a labor of love this summer, getting these things out of here. Whoop. You know, where I'm throwing these is where I want actual grass growing, not here. Is what it is. The gardener's work is never done. This is interesting. Growing up in a rose. This is Rosa Ragusa. Let's see if I can actually get this out without... Nope. Just keeps breaking off. Then some Egyptian walking onions. I had like 5 bulbs at the beginning of the year. Now you see these gladiola are trimmed a little bit by sheep. But I've got offensive grass here in and among the onions. I don't want to mess up the onions. So there's a little onion here. You have to be real careful when pulling weeds up by the roots because it will dig other stuff up. Sometimes you don't want that. This one I just want it out of the Rosa Ragusa. Anyway, I think this was kind of just a meandering discussion. Y'all aren't all on fire about anything today. So I'll be back tomorrow with another Garden 30. It's time for me to continue ripping out perilla from weed cracks, and I'm going to go can some beets. I have a big old pile of weeds for a goat to eat now. Hope you're having a great Sunday, whatever day it is. Bye.